everybody. Welcome back to B-Man School of Business. Remember, this channel is just really about helping young people. They come out of school, they've got some good basic knowledge. There's a lot you learn when you get out in the real world. It's a little bit like, I just got my driver's license. That doesn't mean you're a great driver yet. So I put together some things on my YouTube channel just to help kind of bridge the gap, maybe get some conversation going so you learn something. So that's really what this is about. I was really thinking about my own kids when I started this, but maybe it'll help some of you others. Today I want to talk a little bit about planning for your business, strategic thinking for the future, and as I like to say, how we connect the dots when we think strategically about what we're going to do in the next year. So let me take you through an example of using a waterfall chart and how it helps have good conversation and good strategic thinking about where you're going to go with your business. So let me just show you. So let's think about that. So let's say in 2024, you ran a business and you made $1 million in revenue, and you're starting to think about 2025. Where are we going? What do we want to do? So you sit back, you're in your boardroom or your office, and you go, you know what? I think we want to grow 10%. So we want to go from $1 million to $1.1 million, $100,000 growth. How do I start to think about that? How do I start to think about what do I need to do for that to happen? Well, first thing you do is you go look and say, oh, wait a minute. I know there's $100,000 worth of business that's going away. We know that it's going to go away. So our base, we're going to start at $900,000 worth of revenue for the year. And so we got to think about that. So then the second piece, maybe you'll say, well, what revenue growth do I know that I'm pretty sure is going to happen? 90% sure that's going to happen. In this model, it's 50,000. So that brings me back up to 950,000 of revenue. I know this is going to happen. So feeling pretty good, really good about that. It's almost a slam dunk, right? But then there's also, what are the things that I'm working on? So you go, I'm working on opportunities that's another $100,000 in revenue. So that's good. I know what I'm losing. I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. I'm working these. I got to make these happen. But I'm still 50,000 short. So that means I got to go back and I got to go find my sales team. I got to go find another $50,000 in revenue. So you can see the progression, where I started, what I'm losing, what I think is going to happen. I'm 90% sure this is going to happen. These are pretty good. I'm working these here. And then, I got to go figure out, I got to go find my sales team or myself. I got to go find another 50,000 in revenue to get to my 1.1 million. It's a really good logical process that you go through. You have the conversations. You can connect the dots from where you're at to where you want to be at the end of the year. Or, this could be 3 years, 5 years, whatever you want to do. Now, there's one more point I want to make when we get into the idea of revenue versus sales. So, if you think about it, I have to go sell. I have to go get $200,000 more revenue to get to here. And but that means I have to sell $400,000. Now just imagine, and here's the thing: if I sold a deal worth $100,000 a year, but I sold it at the end of June, I only get 6 months to recognize the revenue. So I'm only going to get half of that, right? So I sold $100,000 at the end of June. I'm only going to recognize 50,000 revenue to the end of the year because it's half a year. So if you use the idea that I'm going to sell these new deals at an even span across the 12 months, then you can imagine that I have to sell twice as much in sales, $400,000 in sales, to recognize $200,000 in revenue. That's a real important point. You need to know the difference between talking about, hey, I sold something, but what recognized revenue am I going to get when I look at my profit and loss statement that we talked about earlier. Hope this is helpful. Kind of a neat way to think about things. Have great conversations in your boardroom or with your business partners to say, yeah, here's where we are, here's where we want to be. How do we think about this and what do we need to make happen? And of course, you could get more complicated and think about when are these things going to happen and then see what revenue you're going to recognize. Anyway, bmccully01@gmail.com. If you want to talk about some more things, you got some ideas, happy to help in any way I can. like I said, is really my idea about helping college students that are really smart and learn the basics to think about things a little bit different as they go into business, and hopefully give them a leg up. Take care and have a good day.